Hey guys, how are you? Quick news about my channel. Change of names. I am now Dr. Tech because you know that's cooler. Anyway, I'm here with a Nintendo Switch review. I owned my Nintendo Switch unit for the past 6 months or so I think I'm fairly okay to give it a quick review now and see if you guys find this helpful. Maybe it'll help you buy one. Maybe it'll help you sell one. Who knows? But here we go. So I've got my Nintendo Switch unit and a bunch of gadgets that I'm going to show you, which I use and I think they're helpful. I haven't used all of them as much as some of the others, but you'll see what I mean when we get there. Anyway, here we go. Nintendo Switch. So, first of all, I love this case. I think I bought it with the Nintendo Switch, the same pre-order. When I actually bought my Switch, I pre-ordered this. It was something like $15. It's probably cheaper now. But it comes with this cool design, which is pretty awesome. And inside you have slots for 14 games. And as you can see, mines are like lined up, so you can see them over here. And then you'll obviously have your space, which is padded, very nice in case you sit something heavy on it. It's padded with the whatever material this is. But here we go. I'll put this aside. So this is it. As you can tell, or you can probably tell, I love Zelda. Zelda. All right. So I'm a big Legend of Zelda fan, and that is why I actually bought the Switch to play the Breath of the Wild, which was an amazing game. I think I've dumped like 200 hours in that game. Still enjoying it. Anyway, I have it turned off, so I'm going to turn it on for you guys. At least I think it's off. Hey, you can see my camera right there. I'm a pro, aren't I? Oh, let's see. Can I get closer? Look at it. Look how beautiful that camera is. Okay, so it's turning on. All right, I'm going to keep it like this so you can see. It's pretty fast. And then once it's on, bam, 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 and you're in. I have a lot of games because I love games. And that's the interface. It's pretty easy. It's very clean. That's one thing I like about, if I can go to show you. It's very clean interface. You see how that moves? Bam, 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 bam. And it's fast. So some of the specs of this unit, well, first of all, price. I think it's still $299, which is the price I bought it for in pre-order, which is ridiculous because it hasn't dropped at all in price. But at the same time, this is Nintendo, where prices stay the same forever, or they increase. But it's $299, and it's actually pretty good for what it is. Dimension-wise, it's like 6.2 inches of screen size, which is not bad on the go, right? You get about 3 to 6 hours of gameplay, depending on which game you play and what you use it for. Like with Zelda, around the 3-hour mark, I'm already at 10%, so I have to recharge it. And the recharge time is 3 hours. With other games, like my, there's one I play here called like Pan Pan. I can play Pan Pan for like 4 or 5 hours and it's still okay. Now, some other games made demanding, like Rocket League, I know it's pretty demanding, and some other games. But yeah. So 3 to 6 hours, depending on what you use it for. They also have Hulu, so you can watch videos here. They may bring Netflix soon too. It has a CPU of 2.0 gigahertz of speed, which I think is based on the ARM Cortex A57-1. Yeah, with the NVIDIA Tegra processor. So they use a Tegra processor from NVIDIA, which is based on the Maxwell technologies. I think it's 2nd generation. And it weighs about 0.6 to 0.8 pounds with 0.67 like to 0.88 pounds with these Joy-Cons in. And if you take those out, which is actually very easy to do, you just press this back button here and they remove, and then you slide it back in and they're back in. And when you actually dock it in your little dock, which I'll show you in a second how it looks, you just drop it in, remove those, and you can start playing with it docked on the TV. That's a cool thing about this, because you can dock it to your TV and it'll instantly transfer the image from here to your TV, and you can play there, then take it on the go, just like they show in the commercial. It really works very well. But they're based on that. It has 25 gigabytes of space initially, I think it's 32, but the other 7 are used for the system, so you have 25 gigabytes left, but you can expand it to 2 terabytes with a micro SD card. So you can buy up to 2 terabytes of space to include it, which probably you'll never need. What else? That's about it. I think the RAM is shared, so the VRAM in it is shared. And it's 720p resolution for the screen, which is like 1280 by 720. But when you put it into the docked mode, which I will show you now, is this thing here. When you put it into this, which obviously connects with your HDMI to your TV, which I don't have here, but you will drop it in like that, and then it connects to your TV, and you can set it on your TV to have 1080p, so it actually can project 1080p resolution on your TV. Now, it does slow down the frame rate a little bit in some instances. I noticed that if I play it on the actual screen in its native mode, it's much better frame rate than when I dock it to my TV, so I tend to do that. But I bought this one to play games on the go. Now, this dock unit is fairly cheap. I also customized it with my Zelda stickers, but it just has the back spaces where you connect your wiring, close it to be neat and tidy, and it has a dock station. Now, some people complain that you can scratch your Nintendo Switch because of its design in the corners here, so you can actually scratch the screen. I've been very careful with mine, sliding it in perfectly and taking it out slowly in the same position, so I had no problems. So if you do that, you shouldn't have any problems either, but you can always put a cloth in it to protect it, and that'll keep the screen from scratching. That's the first one. I will show you some gameplay. How about I show you guys Zelda, since I like it. I'm gonna put Zelda in. I had ARMS in there. I was playing with my girlfriend, so I had that in there. Okay, so it just opens up here, and you put in the SD card, not SD card, the game chip card, and then your game pops up as your first option over there. As you can see, it's also touchscreen, so it's pretty nice. But you can also store games digitally, which I actually prefer. So I have an SD card in here, and I store most of the games I buy digitally, but not all. I bought a lot of physical ones as well. Okay, so now we're in game, and I'll just show you a little bit how it moves. This is some cinematics, which is pretty cool, right? I started a new game. This is one of my newest files. Let's try to move it a little bit. You see how smooth that is? And it's actually 60 frames per second, so it's very nice. And there's no lag. And no matter what you do, it's actually very nice. So gameplay wise, this plays very well on the go. I have no issues with it. Maybe just the battery life would have been nice if it was a little longer. But you have a button that you hold down and you press sleep, and once it goes into sleep, it preserves your battery. So if you're on the go and you put it to sleep mode, it does preserve it pretty well, where when you resume it, it will actually be maybe like 3 to 5% lower battery over a span of 4 to 5 hours. So it preserves you very well. Now in terms of some other gadgets, I have the Nintendo Switch Pro controller, and baby, let me tell you, you want this. Like, I thought from day one that I needed one, and I was right. They are expensive, about $79, but I think right now Amazon has it for $59, which is pretty nice. I bought 2 of them, one for me and then one for my girlfriend, so we can play together, so I have both. And it's very nice. It feels natural, it's very smooth, it's high quality, and it works very well with the games they made. I play Snipper Clips with it a lot, and Rayman Origins, I think, or Rayman, which is one of the famous games for it, for 2 players and 4 players and stuff. So it's really good, and it charges in like 6 hours, I believe, and it lasts up to 40. So it's got a long battery, which is good. Definitely recommend this. I'm gonna go quickly through the gadgets. They're mostly what I've used, and a quick spiel on them. Now this one is called the Joy-Con. Is it the Comfort Grip or the Surge Grip? Something like that. I think the grips are here. I'll show you next. But anyway, I think one of those comes with the unit, and then I bought some others. But what they do, you just slide in your. I'll show you how you slide those in. You just slide in the Joy-Cons, and it makes it so it's comfortable to hold, like you would hold a actual controller. That's all they do. And they're pretty cheap. They're between $12 and $15. And I think they have different colors. So you have that. Then you have these things, which are like Joy-Con extenders or grips, which they're so good if you want to play multiplayer games with people, but you don't have extra controls with you besides those two. So those can actually be individual controllers, so you have 2 players playing it. And what you would do here, you would just pop this thing open and then slide in whatever controller you want and then lock it back in. So I would slide it open like that, put it in, close it up, and now I have a mini controller, and it's very comfortable to hold and play with. So you have no issues playing, which is much better than trying to use this without the extender. I'll show you another one with a different color controller in it. And those are, I think, either $10 or $12, something like that. So they're not that expensive. I believe they come in sets of 2, which is pretty nice. So you get 2 for that price. And then we have the wheel. So this is the Joy-Con wheel that you can actually plug in a controller, just like I did with the grips. And you can play the racing game, which is Mario Kart, I believe. You can play Mario Kart with it, and you would race with the wheel as if you're racing a car, motion-based. And it works pretty well. I'm a little bit disappointed of the buttons in the back. They don't press that well on the Joy-Con, so a lot of times I would miss my action. But overall, it's not a bad experience with it, especially for the feel of actually driving with it. So that's pretty cool. And then I have the charger station for my Joy-Cons. And this charger station fits 4 of those little ones. So I can like drop them in like that, and they would charge 4 at a time. So I don't need to charge it one by one. But also when you plug it into your actual unit, these charges. So if you have this thing plugged in and you have those in it, it will charge the unit and the controllers. And I forgot to mention that you do have just a regular USB type connector into your switch. So you plug it in, it's a type C I believe, and then the other end is a USB. So it's pretty easy to find the connector types. It's not like they usually did it. It's not like Nintendo usually does it with their own unique chargers for their systems. This is a more universal charger, which is good because it's on the go gaming and you want to have access to charging it no matter what. And you do. So those are the gadgets. That's pretty much the unit. My overall impressions after 6 months, I love it. If you have a girlfriend, highly recommend it. They'll have fun, but make sure your girlfriend likes video games. If you have friends that like to play video games, and I had parties before where we played 4 to 5 people or 6 people, we played the same game, and it was a lot of fun, like Bomberman. So that's why I have a lot of Joy-Con controllers. I think I have 8 of those small ones total, plus those, so that's 10. So I have a lot of ways to play this. The downsides with it, the games are pretty expensive, although they're getting better at the digital library. You have a digital store where they have like sales on games, sort of like Steam does. They're not that great of discounts, but at least they do discounts, which I don't think Nintendo did before. So I'm quite happy about that. And they have a lot of cheap games that are for multiple people to play. So party games are, there's a lot of, and they're not that badly priced. So it's pretty good. So overall, I recommend it. It's fun on the go. It's got pretty good battery life. Definitely has good graphics for a portable gaming system. It feels good in the hands to hold and to play. Clarity of the screen is great, so you don't have to worry about not looking nice in the sun or something like that. It actually looks pretty good. Feel of it is well built, so it doesn't feel cheap. And overall, they've made a great unit, which can be both on-the-go gaming and living room gaming when you plug it in your dock. So I'm pretty happy with it. All right, I hope that helped. And if it did, please comment and let me know what you thought. Please subscribe if it helped you and hit the like button. And I will see you next time. So this is Dr. Tech, and take care.